All right, this is part 2 of Wax On, Wax Off. In this segment, I have substituted a hi-hat for that tom on my left. The reason for this is most of us use a hi-hat over here. I want to show you that you can actually play all those same patterns off of the hi-hat. The trajectory of the stick is a little different because the hi-hat's at a higher altitude than the floor tom was, but it's the same concept. Basically, you find a place to put your forearm where you can touch both instruments with just an adjustment of your hand. We're also going to try and incorporate that circular motion as well. So, the motions that we had on the first segment, we'll do the mirror stuff. We'll do come in and go out. We'll do 4 in, 4 out, and 2 in, 2 out, and then 1 in, 1 out. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two each. One each. Okay. Now let's try the stuff that all goes to the right and then goes back to the left. Same kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. For our first variation, we're not going to play unison with the hands. We're going to stagger the hands so that the left hand will actually kind of chase the right hand. So what was this pattern now becomes this. We're going to use the mirror voicings coming in and going out. Here's what that sounds like. All right. Now when I'm playing that pattern, you can hear there's a little space after that last bass drum note. So if we want, we could fill that in with another bass drum note. So we have a 6-note grouping. That sticking sounds like this. Okay, let's do the same thing, the mirror thing. Here we go. Cool. Now there's another variation we can do if we go back to the single with the bass drum. Remember where there was that little space after it? If we take the space out, now we have a 5-note group, which sounds like this. I kind of like this because it's a little funkier. It kind of flips around on the beat a little bit. So let's try the mirror voicing with the 5-note grouping. We'll do 4 groups in, 4 groups out. It's the same kind of thing. Sounds like this. Now let's apply those variations to the asymmetrical movements, where everything moves to the right or everything moves to the left. This is a little different when we play this pattern because there's one tweak we have to make. When we move to the right, we're going to lead with the right hand, but when we move to the left, we have to flip the sticking and lead with the left hand. So this is a little trickier to do. Let's first look at moving to the right. We'll use the first variation of that single bass drum. Here's what that sounds like. Okay, now let's move to the left. This time we have to start with the left hand. Here's what that looks like. All right, now let's play our little grid. 4 patterns each way, then 2 patterns each way, then 1 pattern each way. That sounds like this. Now let's play that same grid, but let's add that extra bass drum note. So now we have a 6-note grouping. That pattern sounds like this. Now let's do the 5-note grouping. So we'll take away one of those bass drum notes. That sounds like this.